Okay. Okay, we good? We ready? We good? Okay, now. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to this beautiful channel. So, hold it right there. 1 minute, maybe, maybe seconds, maybe minutes, many minutes later. Anyway, I want to say thank you for just stopping by, letting your business, letting your duty, letting everything, and just stopping by to listen to this incredible soul passing a very incredible message. Yeah, to those who are asking, who's this sweet voice talking? I'm Smiles. Um, yeah, I go by the name Smiles, and Smiles is here right now at Magriff Classics, and I'm just glad that you're also stopping by to listen to this sound. So, um, if you are on my meridian, which is it's about no, it's not. Oh, yeah. It's late. It's a good evening. If you are on the western, it could be good night by now. No, good morning. Some sort of. If you are on the eastern, it's good evening. I don't know. But wherever you are, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good midday, good time. I hope you're having a beautiful time. So if you're having breakfast, yeah, you can have breakfast along this beautiful sound. If you're having soda, burger, ugali, you're eating burgers, you're eating fish, you're eating something like I don't know about the western kind of foods or zungus. Just share with me what kind of food you could be eating for, or eggs. Oh, okay. And if you're sharing something beautiful right now and you have just stopped to listen, kindly I would request humbly that you subscribe, you like, you comment, and you share. Yes, that that way I will continue to be impacting you, and you will continue to be impacting me, and you will continue to be seeing a lot of these videos that I want to share with you. Now, come to think of it, have you ever given it a thought? Maybe it has happened to you. It has occurred in your situations. It has occurred in your life, or you have seen it on someone else's life occurrence. Um, have you ever? Okay, let me bring it this way. No, not the other way. Now, let me give it a different approach. There are vessels we are using for transportation, and these vessels are very key to our movement from one point to another. All right? So these vessels are very key in our movements from one place to another. When we are taking part in doing things differently, like for example, um, when you want to go and do a job somewhere, or you want to go and acquire something, like going to for a shop or something, and you just have to go and purchase something. Some of us use the word purchase. Some of us use the word buy. Some of us use the word, I don't know. But there are vessels we have found ourselves using for transportation. The modes of transportation. Are they the modes? Yes. The modes of transportation. So, in our country, we have something like car, no, buses. Apart from buses, we have uh, the mats called the matatus. We've also had the motorbikes, and we've also had the bikes. Okay, so I, I want to leave the bikes out because at 21st century we don't use the buses or the bikes in transportation. Actually, the bikes of today are used not commonly, not commonly. I know there are those countries, those places where cars are used for transportation. I know the bikes are used for transportation. I know, and they're really designed so well for transportation. But now let's come back to a situation where we are having these buses and we're having the mats called the matatus, um, and then we are having what we call the motorbikes for transportation. And then there is something very interesting in my country called the tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuk, I don't know. Nigerians call it Okada. Okada, something like that. I think Okada. Okada is okay. I don't know. It's a three-wheel kind of vehicle. Three-wheel, okay? So, has it occurred to you, or has it occurred to your friend, has it occurred to someone you know, that our parents had or have a specific seat in our houses? And even you as a child, you have made it a habit that or this is my sitting point, my sitting place. And the reason why you sit there, you didn't know well. Why? Okay, so here comes a point where parents have where they sit in our houses, and that is reserved for parents. Okay, for when, for example, when my dad comes in, there is that chair where he sits, and he feels comfortable sitting at that chair because when he sits there, he sees everything happening in the house, including the kitchen, including the TV, including, he can hear the sound of what's happening in the bedroom, or he can hear the sound of what's happening in the kitchen, or he can hear the sound. So he's centered to a point where when he looks this way, he sees this, he sees that, and he sees this. So we have a habit, or we have formed a habit of being, let's call it territorial. Okay, we are so territorial that you find a situation where, no, leave that alone. Let me bring it this way to you. Okay, we found it so territorial that we find it that when we sit in different places in our houses, we dictate, we demand that seat to be preserved for so and so, or to be left for so and so, for certain specific reasons, which are best known for the person who is sitting there, the person who has contributed the most to the house, or something or something. Then we have carried these habits with us to a different place now. I was talking about the mats, and now I was talking about the houses, and now I want to connect the houses and the mats together, or I want to connect the houses and the buses together. I want to bring this and, bring it together so that you understand where I was picking that notion from. Have you ever in your life walked into a bus, and right at that moment, you have made a look into the bus, and you have counted the seats, and you have chosen that I am not sitting next to so and so. You don't know their names, you have seen them for the first time, but you have chosen that you're not sitting close to them. Yeah? You have chosen that you're not sitting close to so and so for your own set known reasons. Some of us just walk into a matatu and decide not to sit somewhere because they in their houses don't okay are not seated or are not sitting at that point. You know, some have just chosen or have just come from nowhere and have decided that I am not sitting here because an old man is sitting there or a books or some is sitting there. And you see, and it's really, really bringing a lot of effect in how we relate. So you find a fine lady walks into the bus and says, wow, I'm dressed so nice today. And I just feel like sitting beside a handsome, good looking man. And when they get into the bus and they choose, they just stand there and decide, no, I'm not sitting here, I'm not sitting there. And this happens so fast. You know, you just get into the bus and you hear, and you 1, 2, 3, here 4, you look up and you're like, I'm not sitting there, and I'm not sitting there, and I'm not sitting at the back. I want to sit somewhere here. And I'm sitting beside who and who and who and who. I'm not sitting in the middle, but I'm sitting there. You have settled on that. Well, it takes you no seconds to decide on where to sit. Does it affect anybody? No, it doesn't. But I have made observations of people who have made it a habit. For example, friends, you know, there are those who love sitting next to the window. But there are those who really dislike sitting closer to the windows. And they're really frightened when they sit next to the windows. But then there's this one person, 2 people, 3, 4, 5, they just find it beautiful because they see the view. And listen, what you see as something bad, someone sees it as something good. And so leave these alone. This is these buses that um, we use for transportation are somehow within our reach, within our country. But let's take about a long distance traveling bus of about 12 hours, 8 hours, a night, a day. I have used long distance buses in Kenya. I've used long distance. I've had the privilege to use long distance buses to Uganda, to Mombasa, to Tanzania, to no, not the North Rift, but to Rwanda. You know, I've been blessed to have such encounters with those buses. And sometimes, okay, this is what they do. When you go there, so for example, this is a list of the booking. And so we have the driver's seat at this point. For example, the driver's seat is at this point, reserved for the driver and the co-driver. Okay? Then we have the middle. Then we have 3 seats on this other side. No, 2 seats on this other side. I think 3 or 2. Then we have 3 or 2 on this other end. Okay? 3 or 2, if that. Then we have 5 or 6 at the back. Then when you're presented with that list of which are the seats you'd want to sit, then you are given 1, 2, 3, and you choose and you choose and you choose. Some of us find it hard going anywhere when the numbers they really admire of the seats they really admire or taken by somebody. Some of us are really, really troubled, are really worried. To a point, they find it, I rather cancel the whole thing and just go home. Maybe it's not their lucky number. And so they're like, when I choose that number, no, I don't like it. And when I'm not sitting close to the window, I don't like it, or when I'm sitting. So Have you found yourself in a position where you choose which seat to sit and why to sit on that seat? On the matatus, oh yeah, I've never had a chance to be on the plane, so I don't know how it works on the plane, but I'd really love to know how it works on the plane. Oh my god, damn. Give me a chance one day. I would really love to. So that when I talk about this experience, I also talk about the aeroplanes. Okay? Yeah. So I also talk about the aeroplanes. I also talk about the flights and tell you that this happens or it doesn't happen. Or will come up with something better. Maybe, you never know. Something observant, something beautiful, something you'd love to hear. Yeah. So, having done a lot of analysis and looking at how we tend to relate and we tend to choose who sits where and who sits where at one given point, I have also found myself guilty as charged. I've also found myself in that position where I choose. Today I don't feel like sitting next to a lady. Ladies have disgusted me for the longest, man. Or today I don't feel like sitting close to a guy. The way I look, man, I don't feel nice being close to a man. I just need, so I have some sprays and I just feel like some ladies should smell this. It smells good. Damn, don't you? Don't you? And I just go sit somewhere and freeze. And just when I see a lady, I just open up and say, oh my. Okay? And so it's the pleasure of everyone to sit wherever they choose. I am not offended by that. Okay? I am not offended by that. It's just an observation I've made. And I have seen people do it most of the times. And I just kind of like it. I dislike it at the same time. But it's okay. Have you seen where you're seated and you're hoping that, oh my god, now I want that lady to come and sit here, and she goes and she goes and she goes and she chooses somewhere else. Oh, too bad. Or I want that guy to sit by my side, and you're like, he goes, and sits by some lady's side, and you're like, damn, what up? What up? What up? Anyway, if you have stayed with me from the beginning to the end, I am really, really grateful. I am very, very grateful that you have stayed with me from the beginning to the end. Someone once said, an iron sharpens an iron. You are my iron, and I am your iron. So, for this reason, if you want to receive more of this, more of the videos, more of the pop-ups, more of the subscriptions, more of, whatever you call it, just do the necessary. Kindly subscribe, kindly like, kindly comment. Let's communicate, because when you communicate, I also communicate. I also get time to communicate. And the once say, can I tell you what a wise man once said? He said this, and I quote, that you see, you don't have to deny me the privilege, or the privilege, let's call it the privilege, to deny me the privilege of telling you what I think, my opinion. Because one day that opinion may be needed when you are late somewhere, when you are stuck somewhere, when an idea comes through. So I have learned to respect people based on what they give me or what they don't. Well, if you hate me, it's okay. I have haters everywhere, but I love you. Because God is love and we are all loved. And the greatest of all, the greatest of all, the greatest is love. So when you have love, you have everything. You will receive everything. I have had a purely experience of the same. with love. So, as I walk out today, I would love to say that we take care of every little thing we are given. The parable of the sower would simply define everything for you and for me. Well, we have a time when we all gonna reap what we have sown. Anyways, that was a awesome time that I had with you today. I really loved it. I don't know if you do, but if you did and you want to listen to more of this, just go on, subscribe to this channel. And also, you're allowed to come in and give opinions and give views and give observations. There are other things that we have observed differently from what I have observed. And I just want you to share with me. So, I'm humbled to be with you today. That's smart. Thank you.